Hey, welcome to part 8, I believe, of this video series. And in this section, I'm going to go over a couple of leak finders. First one here we're going to go over is player KOH1990, and he's a student of mine. And we're going to go through this game. I have not read through this hand history, and we're going to look at the situations and see what we can come up with, what we can improve, how he played, and go from there. After we get through this one, I'll go through a leak finder of my own play. We'll kind of compare, and maybe we'll look at a little bit how I play differently than some more standard players. So first hand here, we got Queen 9. Raise it up, perfect. This is not a great flop for our hand, seeing as we really have very little equity, but I think we're still probably best off c-betting here, which we do, just because it's the first hand of the match, and if he's just got overcards or some unconnected hands, he probably is going to fold. And also, there's a lot of turns that we can be representing here. So he calls us flop, GTN 5. Don't have any reads on this opponent here. And at this point, I think that the best course of action is actually just going to be to shut down. It's not a great turn. So I think folding, just shutting down here, trying to get to a cheap showdown is fine. I don't expect to be good here so much. Kind of an interesting river. If we're check 2, we can certainly consider stabbing here. But I think the best play here is just going to be to check it down. And when we're bet out, when our opponent here leads on this river, I think a fold is going to be by far the best play. So on to the next hand. Not a whole lot happening. So we min raise Queen 10 offsuit, pretty standard, and opponent's ships here for 72 effective big blinds. And obviously we're going to fold here, but definitely worth kind of looking at what kind of range of hands would our opponent do here. Can we maybe classify him into possibly more of a fishy player? This is a pretty unstandard shove. So kind of my perception right now of this opponent we're playing here is that he is not very good. On the next hand here, 4x is pre-flop, and I would just fold King 4 versus 4x. This kind of stack depth, there's really not a whole lot we can do. Probably a minimum calling hand here would be like a King 8. It would actually be fairly tight. So we do go ahead and fold, and that is perfect. Yep, just fold a 7 deuce pre-flop here. Versus a player who kind of possibly is spewy, we don't want to be raising 100%. We definitely want to be raising a little bit of a tighter range. So 3 X's, we have 5-8 off in the big blind, and I'm just again going to go ahead and fold here. I don't think we have enough equity to continue. So far, KOH here, and I have no disagreements. Pretty standard min raise, King 6-7 suited. Even though this guy is potentially kind of more of a spewy player, we still do want to be raising a lot of buttons. Just because he shoved one hand, that doesn't really mean anything. Certainly not a big enough sample size to draw very concrete conclusions.